Hello and welcome to day one of the 7-day Meet Your Spirit Guide challenge. Hopefully you've done the preparation work from the preparation video. If not, go back and watch it. That's all about setting your intention for this challenge so that you bring forth the right spirit guide for you. So day one, what's day one all about? Well, it's all about improving your intuition, because the better your intuition is, the better the connection you're going to get with your spirit guide over the next 7 days. So what I want you to do today is go to a link that will be in the description of this video and click on it, and there's a little quiz where you answer some questions and the outcome will tell you which out of the 4 clairs is firing on all cylinders for you at the moment. So the 4 clairs are clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience and claircognizance. So you're going to take this quiz and at the end of it, it will tell you which one is working the best for you at this moment in time. And it's not to say you're rubbish at the other ones, it's just what's best for you. So if clairsentience comes out on top for you, then that's what I want you to work with over the next 7 days. So clairaudience is the ability to hear spirit. Clairvoyance is the ability to see spirit using your third eye. Clairsentience is the ability to feel spirits, feel emotions. And claircognizance is about using your body, your gut feeling to intuitively interpret what spirit are telling you. So go and do that quiz. Let me know in the comments which one comes out for you. Then when you find out which one is working well for you at the moment, you're going to do an exercise that is related to the clair that came out for you in that quiz. So again, go to the description in the comments of this video and do that exercise. It's just a quick exercise. And again, in the comments, let me know how you got on with it. Now, as well as that, I thought in this video I would tell you about my spirit guides and how I connected with them. So you probably notice there's a painting behind me. But yes, that is me, looking slightly more glamorous than I do now. My sister painted that for me. She's an artist. Go and check her out. Abby Brown with an E, artist. And on that painting are my spirit guides. So let me talk you through who they are. Now, these spirit guides came through for me after I had my Dark Night of the Soul episode in January 21, and then I had a big spiritual awakening. So these spirit guides all came through for me then, but I had a team before that. But let me tell you about these guys first. And if you want to know more about my story, go to my website and you can read the whole thing. But spirit guide wise then, so the main guide that I work with is Archangel Metatron, which is here. So he actually first made himself known to me probably in 2016 when I went to an archangel workshop. And Metatron just stood out to me because it sounded like a transformer. It didn't sound like any of the other angels, and I thought, how cool does Metatron sound? So that's when he first started coming through to me. But then, after I'd had my Dark Night of the Soul, my spiritual awakening, I found an amazing lady called Amanda Ellis, and I'm sure a few of you know her. And I signed up to do her colour healing therapy level 1. Unbeknownst to me, Amanda works with Archangel Metatron, and we get attuned with Metatron when we do that colour healing training. So then I got a lot more acquainted with him, and I loved his energy. I think he's got a wicked sense of humour. But he's also on my level because he's an action-orientated guide. And that suits me. That suits my personality. And I work with him on a daily basis. I wear the Metatron's cube. I haven't got it on today. And constantly learning off him and loving working with him. So he's my main day-to-day guide. Then on here we've got my Akashic record guide. So when I go into the Akashic records, the first time I went up there, so in my training, I got to the door and a wizard guide that looks like Merlin, could be Merlin, I don't know, he's my wizard guide, opened the door to the Akashic records. So he's there and he walks me down the corridor to my space in the Akashic records. Then in the Akashic records, there's a mermaid who's always sat in a chair and always really happy to see me and guides me, and did actually turn out to be a client that I read for. It turned out that she was this mermaid in another life. Yeah, quantum. We're getting quantum now. So that is wonderful, and that mermaid is also linked to my past lives in Mintaka. And if you don't know about Mintaka, it's a place where there's beautiful blue crystal seas and lots of mermaids and dolphins, and it's just such a wonderful place. So that mermaid's linked to that. And then finally in the Akashic records, usually when you work in the Akashic records, you do have a gatekeeper guide who stops you from accessing records that you shouldn't. So my gatekeeper guide is this little guy here, and he's very little and he's got a staff, and he never speaks to me, but he will step forward if I'm about to access some records that I shouldn't. Now, what's not on there, because this guide only came through to me about 2 months ago, so it was after Abby painted this, is I started seeing an amazing whale when I went into the Akashic records, and this whale is now there every time and takes me to people's past lives. And when he stays that way up, I know we're going to an earth past life, and when he turns belly up, we're going to a cosmic past life. And this is probably one of the strongest spirit guides that's come through to me, because literally every time I close my eyes and I'm about to do a client reading, the whale is there, so strong and such a beautiful energy. So I need to get Abby to add the whale to this. Now, the other guides that are on there, so you can see these two here, they are Pleiadian guides. So Pleiades is a star constellation. I have had many lives on planets in Pleiades. Pleiades is my main blueprint, so when you read about Pleiadians, they are very much like me, personality-wise. I won't go into that now, because I want to keep this video about my spirit guides. How did I meet these two? Well, there was an online kind of 2-day event where there were lots of different readers providing services that you could pay for. So one reader was providing a service where she could channel a cosmic guide that might be coming through to you. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, because I didn't really have any cosmic guides at the time. So I had this reading from her, and she channeled these two amazing female twin Pleiadian guides called Rosie and Daisy. So one's blonde, one's brunette. One's holding a white rose and one's holding a yellow daisy. And they come through for me when I need an uplift, when I need some joy and fun, when I'm feeling a bit down. So they come through for me then. I'm just going to take a sip of water out of my bottle, excuse me. So they are wonderful to work with. And then you've probably noticed this. It looks like a wolf, but it's actually not. It's a white tiger called biaku. How did I meet biaku? So this is my spirit animal. I met biaku when I channeled one of my past lives in a star system called Aldebaran, and I was a male Eastern warrior. And biaku was at my side all the time through all of the wars that we had. So it was fantastic to meet biaku as my spirit animal. Such a wonderful energy, very calming, makes me feel very secure and stable, and I love working with him. Now you probably noticed on there's a white owl. And Abby just put that white owl in there. And I didn't say, or at the time have, a white owl guide. But there's an interesting story about a new guide that's coming through for me, and I'll tell you about that in the next video. But this new guide, guess what animal or bird being is associated with her? It's a white owl. So my sister was obviously channeling when she did this painting. So I said that these guys were ones that came through after I'd had my spiritual awakening. So from early 2021 onwards, I met these guys. Now, prior to that, I had a completely different set of spirit guides. But you'll find, as you go through your spiritual journey, some will leave and new ones will come in. So that's what happened to me. So in 2013, when I started my training as a tarot reader and did a spiritual awareness course, whenever I did my meditations, and in the meditation went through a bridge or a tunnel which signifies going to the other side, there would be a guide there waiting to take me to the other side, and she was called Ariana. She had a cloak and didn't really reveal her face. So that was fab. Had her for years. Then I had a healing guide called Aurora, and she wore like a pinafore and had plates in her hair. And had those two for years, and I think that was the only two that I had. And then when I started looking into archangels, would you believe it, there are two archangels called Ariana and Aurora, because I just thought I'd come up with those names in my imagination. And then I think I did a Steve Noble meditation where it was a meaty spirit guide, and at some point in it, it said some of your guides might now step back and new ones might step forward, and that's exactly what happened. These two said, we've taken you to a certain stage in your spiritual journey, and it's now time for us to hand you over to new guides who are going to take you to the next step. So you might find that happens in your spiritual journey. I hope you found that interesting. I just thought I'd share how I met my guides. In tomorrow's video, I'll tell you about this new guide that's coming through for me, why I think they're coming through, how long it took me to work out who it was, and what signs and symbols came through. So I shall see you tomorrow for day 2, but don't forget to comment below what you got in the quiz and how you got on with the exercise.